Hi, I'm Aleeza Ben Shalom, the marriage-minded mentor, and I have something interesting that I want to share with you. Have you ever dated someone and gotten rejected or been interested in someone who wasn't interested in you? We've all gotten no's in dating and in life. We're all familiar with that feeling of rejection, with that pain and that hurt that comes from the implied message, "You're just not for me." Getting rejected hurts. As a dating coach, I hear about no's more often than I hear about yeses. A client of mine recently shared with me, every time I get a no, it feels personal. It seems like I'm just not good enough for anyone. It makes me want to give up on dating and finding my soulmate. We have to remember that no's are a normal part of life. If you're going to get that no anyway, why live with it as a rejection when you can view it as a blessing? Now let's imagine how different your dating experience could be. Picture this. You ask a friend to set you up with a potential date, only to be told the other person isn't interested. What's your initial reaction? Ouch, that hurts. Why don't they want to go out with me? But wait a minute, let's reframe. A no in this case gives you clarity that you need to move on. It says this isn't the right person for you at this time. The other person isn't interested and therefore you need to pursue someone else. A no gives you permission to move on without regret. You tried to make something happen, it didn't work out as you had hoped. Now it's time to turn the page and move on. Clarity and moving on is a positive step towards finding the right person. And that's the blessing in getting this no. Now imagine you move on from that experience and you go on a series of promising first dates, but they end up being one date, done, and over again you hear, "I had a nice time, but I just don't think that we're a match." How can you reframe no into a blessing? This no can mean you need to reassess your method of dating. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If you're getting a no every single time, it may be an indication that you need to reevaluate how you date or who you date. For example, on a first date, you might want to try to get to know people by asking a lot of questions. And while your intentions are good, perhaps your questioning method is leaving someone feeling a little bit interrogated instead of feeling more connected to you. After a few no's, you might be motivated to find a peer or a mentor and run through what happens on a first date so that they can help you evaluate what's happening and you can make some changes and get better results. There's a huge blessing in knowing where you need to make improvements. Now imagine that you found someone wonderful to date. You've gone out with them several times, maybe it's been several weeks or months, and then one day it happens. You get turned down and told, "I've enjoyed getting to know you, and I like you, but I just don't think you're a match for me." How is this a blessing? In this case, it may be that you're doing everything right and putting in the right amount of effort. But maybe this is divine intervention. Maybe that person isn't the right person for you. And while you didn't yet have the clarity, the other person did. This no is a blessing because it saves you time. The message is, don't spend any more time with this person. They aren't for you. It's time to move on. I want you to relate to a no providing clarity by focusing on the blessing of a no and not the rejection. It'll help you to show up on your next date with a positive attitude, ready to embrace the possibility that awaits you. The possibility of getting a yes from the right person. You don't have control over receiving a no, but you do have control over how you frame it. No's are a normal part of life. If you're going to get that no anyway, why live with it as a rejection when you can view it as a blessing? So the next time a no comes your way, may you have the strength to reframe it and to turn that no into a blessing.